Alvin and Rutherford are up there, and they're like, yeah, we don't think this is going to be a problem culturally in the room. And it's like, yeah, but I bet you don't. And hockey.
Yes, sir.
Welcome back, everyone. This is episode 116 of Stick Talk Hockey. As always, I'm your host, Tico. This is my co-host.
I'm yours truly.
Over there, we got our producer.
Producer Jet.
And day one of the worst draft I've ever watched in my life is in the books.
It couldn't have been the worst. I mean, the presentation was terrible, but, like, the players were all right. Like,
I mean, yeah, first of all, I wasn't referring to the quality of the draft class.
okay. Like, because I've seen way more whelming draft classes, but...
I mean, honestly, definitely one of the weaker draft classes of this decade.
I think there'll be some, like, gems where you look back and you're like, oh, wow, like, the 20th overall was the biggest hit in this. Like,
and there always is, like, some gems, but I don't know. Although, look, Columbus, I don't know if y'all are tapped into Hockey Legacy Manager, but Hockey Legacy Manager is the goated franchise game. If you want to like sim seasons and play as like a GM, right?
okay.
If you're still playing that on NHL 25 or whatever from EA, you are way behind. Hockey Legacy Manager is the GOAT. And for whatever reason, Pyotr Andrianov, this goalie, turns into a demon. And I swear, Columbus got to be playing that game because they took him way off the board. And that's literally what I do in that game. I like trade up into the first round to pick this goalie every single time because he's such a demon. They knew the sauce.
That's so funny.
He wasn't even the number one ranked goalie.
Didn't something come out, like, a while ago where managers were using, like, GM mode?
Yeah.
To, like,
Get
craft
trade
trades?
value. Yeah.
You know, it wouldn't be far off.
I'm telling you. Someone on that scouting table
Just
said, you know, I don't know what it is, but this goalie's always good.
It's just heavily playing the game on road trips.
I mean, I do it. You don't need internet. You got a 6-hour flight? Goated.
Valid.
Anyways, Baltaro. Yeah.
If you know, you know.
Yeah, but I mean the technical difficulties were hilarious.
Oh
It was
my
just
God.
so bad.
Oh my God.
Like we should have known. We shouldn't have left it to the NHL to figure out anything tech. All these dinosaurs out there. They got that clip of Higgins and he's just standing there and they're like, "Hey, guys, what do you think about drafting Higgins?" And they're all just staring. He's like, "Thanks for drafting me, guys." They're like just staring at him. It was awful.
10 seconds of the most uncomfortable silence.
Not really a ton of insane stuff. I was really hoping for the Canucks to trade for Marco Rossi, obviously. But I knew. Did I not text both y'all and say it's too late? The Canucks will handcuff themselves and run out of time?
Yep.
They always do it.
They did.
They, like, honestly, Canucks management, I understand now why they're known for getting their work done so early. Because they cannot be trusted with a deadline. Just flat out. Every single deadline, trade deadline, like what's the deadline to like July 1st for like when an NMC kicks in deadline, draft deadline for when you're making a pick, like when they're working towards that, every single time it's we tried and we ran out of time.
That's the West Coast way, baby.
Facts, honestly. Yeah.
West Coast time, 3 hours behind. What can I tell you?
Honestly, yeah, that might be it. That just might be it. Rashny went a little higher than you thought, though, huh?
Yeah, I really thought he was going to fall. I don't know why. I just thought the goalies were going to be more prioritized in this draft, seeing how, like, weak
Interesting.
this stock was. And, I mean, we'd seen a lot of, like, centers move already, so you figured that the choice ones were off the board.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, and...
With the Devils pick at that.
Yeah, It's really quite something. I would
Mhm.
have loved to see him in a Devils jersey. That would
I
have been
bet.
fun. But it's nice to see him in a Calgary jersey. I think that'll
Yep.
be a great fit. Like,
Yeah.
honestly, he's exactly what they need on that team right now. He is just so sly, crafty, great vision.
I really did think that he was a good pick for Calgary. I agree with that. There were a lot of picks here that I really liked. Like, I mean, the Islanders get some good work done. Like, they get the top dog in Schaefer, but then adding Eklund, who had fallen like a rock as well, and Aitchison, who's, not like an offensive defenseman, but like I liked their work today. I don't really want to get too in depth to anything, but like Boston getting Higgins at 7 is great.
Yeah, it's great too. I really like that.
Honestly, I for the Canucks not getting their work done, off my quick little search into Braden Coots, happy about that. Guy's got some dog in him, which the Canucks are in need of some dog, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I was actually really interested in seeing how the Porter Martone thing works out in
Yes.
Philly.
I think,
'Cause-
because they were, vocal about needing a center. So I thought they weren't gonna pick Martone, but him and Mishkov together, that might be a problem.
And he fits their identity so perfectly.
Big
Just
time.
a big-bodied power forward, mean as hell.
Yeah.
Like, that's just so Philly. And
Yeah.
a story leaked earlier this week that they had like employed a UFC fighter to help their younger guys learn how to fight.
So sick. So Philly.
So yeah, I think that the Broad Street Bullies are like officially back in action.
Hell yeah. Roger McQueen to the Ducks. I like that pick for them a lot.
And then they immediately fly him
Yeah.
out to Disney World
On
or
a
Disneyland,
helicopter.
sorry,
Yeah.
on a helicopter
Yeah.
to take pictures with Lightning McQueen. How special.
I
How
mean,
beautiful.
like, we were all thinking it, right?
Ciao.
Yeah, ka-chow. We were all thinking it. Yeah, that's really it from day one of the draft, though. I mean, like, the technical difficulties made it hilarious. I really hope they do go back to the just everyone there format. I don't know why they abandoned it.
Yeah, it felt way less special and like insincere. I don't know, especially with like, it just felt so dystopian with the whole Higgins thing. Like, what do you think of drafting the guy? Okay, thanks.
No, it was so good. Higgins is such a Boston player.
Yeah,
That's
he'll
a
work
good
out
pick.
great there.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think that'll be great. It's a little bit surprising he fell as far as he did, but
Very Shane Wright-esque moment.
truly,
Mm-hmm.
truly.
Okay, so I mean, that was the draft, but the real big news came from the trades and the signings this week.
Yeah, absolutely.
As a whole, I mean, kicked off earlier this week. Speaking of Philly, Zegras. Out he goes, out to play under Rick Tocchet with the Philadelphia Flyers. Polling, 2025 second and 2026 fourth, went back to Anaheim. Not a great return. Really showcased how far Zegras' value fell.
It didn't shock me at all.
Yeah.
Tocchet's gonna have a goddamn heart attack.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, that's gonna be a steep learning curve.
Just watching Mishkov and Zegras Michigan all day long.
Yeah. We've seen it
Michigan
go,
pass to each other.
Yeah, no look passes, just straight into double coverage.
Yeah. I feel like Tocchet gets a little bit of a bad rep for like hating young players, because I think the real secret, like, not I think the like secret in the NHL is that every coach hates young players.
I think
That
everyone
is showy.
everyone just hates 21-year-olds. They're freaking annoying. Sorry.
Don't we all?
Like,
Yeah.
looking back, like, yeah, I would have hated me too. I was a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Just shut up, kid.
You know who hates young players? Coaches and veteran players.
Yeah, duh.
Like, yeah, sorry. I don't know. I think it's a little bit overblown, and I do think there will likely be a learning curve there. But for Philly, I mean, maybe he's not exactly a Philly type player, but I think it's a great bet.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that they're a team that just needs to start betting on the bad situations.
Yeah.
Like we talked about it. You have to find these guys where you know they have skill.
Sure.
You know they have a history of winning.
Sure.
They just haven't done it recently.
Yep.
And then you get them back to it.
Yeah, 100%.
sometimes all it takes is just breaking the funk too. Like, I mean, you've been playing in Anaheim for how long and
Totally.
strung together multiple 60-point seasons? Like,
Yeah.
blech.
Yeah.
It's hard to bounce back from that. It's hard to have any morale or juice left looking at that locker room.
100%. And I mean,
it stinks of failure.
Yeah, yeah, it does. And like it's a good swing for Philly because of the like potential on the other side of it. But like if it doesn't work, it's not like you gave up the farm for this guy either, right?
No, absolutely. And I think it's something like buying, a used car.
Sure.
You can still resell it for a little bit, just not as much as you paid for it if, it ends up in worse condition.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
If you fix it up a little bit, you might actually turn a profit.
Sure. 100%. Jay, do you have a feeling on the Zegras trade? Do you think Zegras is going to be a guy there?
I hate to say that I think Philly did good here.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just think I'm not even a big Zegras guy at all, but it just feels like a good bet.
I agree with that.
And I got no problem with what they traded for sure.
Yeah, that's the thing. The cost is just like it's a bunch of pieces that aren't making or breaking your team either way. Shout out to Pulling. I mean, no disrespect on him, but
It's not destroying your team in any sense. They kept all of their stars and all of their core pieces and all their vets. So I mean, like, what do you really want, right?
If anything, I was a little bit confused as to why Anaheim actually did this.
Yeah, I was a little confused, but I think it makes sense too. They have a really clogged up pipeline of talent, and
especially at center.
And and if you're, it's the definition of shit or get off the pot. Like, you've kind of had a chance to show yourself. You knew you were kind of against the wall in the last season, and
sure,
I didn't see any super inspired play.
And I agree with that. And there is something to be said, I think, for like, it's one thing to have competition in your pipeline. You do want that. You do want players to be earning their roles, of course. But it's kind of tough when they're all in this limbo, like particularly that McTavish, Leo, Zegras group, and being like, okay, we're going to just toss this around and hope one of you takes this role. Whereas now it's kind of like, okay, McTavish, Leo, 1-2, you're our guys, go for it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you still have other guys coming into the system, and it's just like it becomes less of an opportunity for growth and more of like a ceiling that's just unbreakable.
Right.
Like, you want to have the room for the growth. If the room is crowded with a bunch of other guys trying to grow into a role as well, then are any of you really going to grow and fill a space, or are you just going to limit each other?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense for sure.
I wanted to circle back really quick because I forgot to mention some things on the draft. Jay, could you pull up the draft really, really, really quick? 2 things. Red Wings with Carter Bear.
Yep.
God, that's such a good pick at 13. My God, that's going to turn out so well.
Yeah.
The kid's like pretty small still.
Sure.
Like, but he just always gets to the loose puck. Like, his battle in front of the net is so unfathomably disgusting.
It's that dog.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bear's got the dog.
Yeah, and as he like grows into, his full body as he keeps maturing and hits 21, 22 and gains some more weight, that's going to be a great pick.
Yeah.
And 2, the Islanders trading for back-to-back picks earlier in the week.
Yeah.
We'll get to that. Well, earlier today, I should say. And Kayshawn Aitchison.
Yeah.
If you haven't, look up this kid's highlight reels. My God.
Yeah, he's a monster with the hits.
He's the boogeyman.
Yeah.
Like, he is going to wreak havoc on the Metro. I really, really, really loved this prospect, and I love what he brought to the table. And I'm pretty goddamn choked that I'm going to have to like watch the Devils play him.
Yeah, no doubt.
Because he's going to wreck Jack Hughes one day.
Yes, he is, probably multiple times.
Yeah, he's going to blow that whole team up. I can see it already. It's going to be like, bullet through paper.
Yeah, no, like I said, they did good work today. Between Aitchison, Eklund, and Schaefer up top, they did great work today.
And actually, while we're still here, let's circle around to pick 29 because that was a little bit interesting. We didn't see much movement in the draft itself. However, we did see Chicago trade up to pick 29, which was originally Carolina's,
Yep.
in exchange for like 3 picks,
Yeah, later picks.
later picks,
Mm-hmm.
which is bold. Apparently, this kid's stock had shot through the roof.
Yeah, over the last half of the season here.
But there's a big asterisk here. This kid's name is Mason West,
Indeed.
and he is one hell of a hockey player.
Yeah.
He's still in high school. He committed himself fully to hockey this year,
Mm-hmm.
and it panned out well. And he
Indeed.
got drafted in the first round.
Indeed.
The only issue is that he's a multi-sport athlete, folks.
Yeah.
And god damn, this kid's good at throwing a football. And he's going back to school.
Yeah.
During the sit-down interviews, he told all of the scouts, all the GMs in the meetings, "Nah, I'm fully committed to hockey. This is, I'm 100% in."
That's what I'd say too.
Right before the draft, he announces he's going back to school to play football because he needs to win a state championship before he hangs it up.
Yeah.
Noble, bold,
Sure.
respectable, some might say.
I'm sure.
That's pretty goddamn concerning if I'm trading 3 picks for a guy
Yeah.
who's being scouted and already has D1 offers on the table.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Definitely concerning.
What do you mean? And I know it may seem moot to you, but just hear me out. NIL money is no joke.
No.
It's some good stuff, especially if you're going to an elite school.
Okay.
And 2, I've seen what a bench warming quarterback makes.
It's a lot more than a second line center.
It absolutely is. You're telling me that I can throw a football twice a year
No.
and sit on the bench and make double what any counterpart in the NHL would make?
Yeah.
Forget about it.
Forget about it.
Easy. My decision's made.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Look, if this was a Brock Lesnar situation where he's a, defensive end,
Sure. It's one thing.
hockey's the way to go. You're going to
Yeah.
get more there.
Yeah.
But-
Quarterback.
But a quarterback.
Yeah.
We're talking, these guys make, upwards of
I'm
90,
aware of what
100
quarterback
yeah,
makes.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Right? So,
6'6", 218.
big boy. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Let's put it this way. He's
Yeah.
so good at football
Yeah.
that during the NHL draft, they were showing more of his football clips
That is hockey
than
highlights.
his hockey highlights. And that's concerning to me.
Yeah, I get it. I do. I think it was, you know what though, I think it was concerning for a lot of GMs. If he was hockey only, he was probably going to go in the top 10.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
But
That's such a... And
I
I
also
bet...
just hope it burns Chicago because they're awful.
Same. And I bet you it was such a sigh of relief for every GM picking after because,
Yeah.
he's projected to go in the first round.
You don't have to be the one that makes that decision now.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can kind of go, okay, well, we didn't have a choice. There was better players on the board. We took what we could get.
Totally.
He just wasn't there. Sorry, boss.
100%.
But I don't envy being a single scout in Chicago right now. That's gonna be a tough situation if things break the other way.
100%.
Can you imagine this kid actually wins his state championship?
Might do it.
Oops.
Might do it. Is that all we got for the draft?
Yeah, that's all I had.
Cool.
That was the last thing. We kind of worked through all the way through.
Yeah, yeah.
And Ravensburg from the Prince George Cougars got drafted 30th overall or something like that.
Right.
Good for him. Great goalie.
Yeah.
Pretty much where I expected him to go.
Very nice. Yeah. He was the number 1 ranked goalie, was he not?
I believe for North American skaters, yes. But he didn't
stuff.
get invited to Team Canada.
Noticing. Okay, is that it?
That is it.
Okay. Back to the trade board.
Onward we go. Back home.
yeah. Evander Kane, Vancouver Canuck.
Wow. How do you feel?
It's been an interesting week.
Yeah. Kicked in the nuts a couple of times, got a limp, need a cane.
No, you know what? I actually, I real deal don't mind this at all.
You needed size.
You need size. And the thing about Evander Kane, okay, so Evander Kane to Vancouver from Edmonton for a 2025 fourth round pick. So first of all, the cost is basically nothing, a fourth round pick. They've been looking so much at this free agency market, and it's like you're not finding an Evander Kane player for $5 million in this market.
No, you're going to be paying more if you're signing them off free agency,
and for way longer, right? He's only got 1 year left.
Yeah, it's a good little rental piece, and I understand, the gripe about like, oh, it's $5 million, but like the cap's going up. Who cares?
Yeah, the only thing is like the opportunity cost of putting that $5 million into Evander Kane right now is my only actual issue with it, because now you only have 7 left, and you don't have a Brock Besser replacement, nor do you have a Pius Suter replacement, nor do you have a Get Better replacement.
Yeah,
Problematic.
I don't really think Vancouver's set on getting better anymore.
Yeah, that's
honestly.
valid.
The way that I've seen them talking about the Quinn Hughes situation, it seems like more and more an inevitability where he is going to go where his brothers are playing, provided that situation stays the same and New Jersey doesn't do the dumbest shit in the world and trade one of them.
Yeah.
You'd have to imagine he's going to go there. That's...
I don't know. I think that's cap, though. Like why would you make this trade then? Like
one last run, you need bodies? I don't know.
I think they're trying to get better. They are. I just think that it's not possible. Honestly, like from what we've seen, like they already knew they're not in the Mitch Marner sweepstakes. They're not.
No,
they're not in the Nikolai Ehlers sweepstakes. Those players don't want to come here.
No.
So then what do? You got to find these types of solutions, right?
Yeah. I mean that's tough.
I mean they're all in on Marco Rossi. I'm still praying they get that done somehow, whether it's through an offer sheet or whatever. From all we've heard, they're all in on it. Again, that's not the type of move you make if you have accepted defeat, And Evander Kane, look, he brings a lot to Vancouver that they need, right?
Size, scoring.
Some scoring, and just bite, Like when Quinn Hughes gets mangled in the corner, which granted doesn't happen all that often, but when it does, no one needs to tell Evander Kane, hey, go get that guy.
He's going to do it.
He's going to do it.
Yeah.
And, BC boy, I also just have a lot of time for a player that says to their management, look, if you're going to trade me to Vancouver. I got a lot of time for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Shows up in the blue and green suit, seems happy to be here. I got a lot of time for that. And, the but he's such a wild card thing is like, yeah, factual. However, he kind of reminds me of like the player version of Tortorella, where it's not so much that he just like is oil and water with everyone in a room. It's that like people's patience wear thin of him after a couple years.
Yeah. It's not like he's a douche and he's just instantly disliked. It's just that after a while his antics get a little bit old and you're like, okay, dude, like could you grow up a little bit?
So on a 1-year deal, I mean, I like it.
Yeah, and I mean it gives you time to analyze the player. Maybe you earn some rapport with him and you're able to get him back on like, a 2x3 or something.
Sure.
He's going to be aging up. He's going to, be looking drier on the market.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, look, like I know I just said that the Canucks cannot be trusted at any sort of deadline. But Evander Kane, if healthy and performing well in a contract year in Vancouver, is available at the deadline, you're getting more than a fourth for him if you want to flip him.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the type of player, like you said, it's not available on the market.
No.
And there's very few players like that in the league, just with that type of size and that type of skill together.
Yeah, 100%. And people are like, whoa, he fell apart in the finals. Yeah, you don't have to worry about that here, y'all. Just I'll just keep it a buck. That's not a problem in Vancouver.
Yeah, and I don't know, like people can change. Like
factual
sure,
and yeah.
I don't know. Like I was an alcoholic for a goddamn long time. Like I haven't drank in 5-6 years. Like gambling addicts can get rehab as well and they can reform. So like
especially like when we're talking about millionaires in their 20s. Like I am actually impressed more of them aren't complete fuck-ups.
Yeah. Oh,
you know?
absolutely. I'd be betting like a degenerate every single day, and I would be doing it on DraftKings Sportsbook.
Dang right. Dang right. Actually,
if I was to.
funnily enough, our contract with DraftKings ended this week.
Oh, really?
Yeah, draft wherever you gamble wherever you want.
Oh, I don't give a fuck anymore. Have fun.
That's funny. Until September. Anyways.
Until September.
Yeah, until September.
And then go back there, provided
Yeah.
they still want to sponsor us.
Yeah. No, DraftKings. They know we love you, DraftKings.
We solid.
Yeah, we good. Yeah, Evander Kane though. I don't know. I'm down with it. I'm just down with it. Like I just don't think anything matters.
I'm kind of there too. I was like, at this point, throw caution to the wind. You may as well throw something at the canvas and hope it works. Shit,
Yeah.
like this could just be a really sweet reclamation project. You throw out a
Sure.
fourth, you pay a little bit of money, and then you deal him out for a second. Like,
Yeah.
if that happens, we're gonna be sitting here at the deadline next year and going, "That's really smart work. That's clean work." Like, I can't
Totally.
believe that I didn't see this coming.
There's also just a world where, he's a hometown guy, and in November he has like 10 goals already and a big fight that stood up for Elias Pettersson and a bunch of big hits, and all of Vancouver's like, I love Evander Kane.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's exactly where I was going to go with this too, is like,
Yeah.
we've touched on the size already, and the tenacity.
Yeah.
You know who had that? JT Miller.
Yeah, it is funny that it's like all of these things that they need. They really need size and skill and bite. If only they had a guy like that.
Geez, shucks. But more importantly, they need someone who can play alongside Pettersson
Yeah, I
at a
know.
high level without dragging him down.
But
and
the
still
funny
defending it.
funny thing though, yeah, I'm so glad you mentioned that, is because like Kane's antics historically have been so much worse than JT Miller's.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, so we'll get rid of this guy and we'll bring in a guy that's way worse, but with way more issues than the guy we just got rid of because of his issues.
Good math. Checks out.
And that's the thing, right? Like Alvin and Rutherford are up there, and they're like, yeah, we don't think this is going to be a problem culturally in the room. And it's like, yeah, but I bet you don't. Yeah, I bet that you don't. Yeah. The same group that looked at Horvat, Pettersson, and Miller and said, yeah, Horvat, we're good, pal. You can go. These guys, they got a problem. Whatever. We'll give them both 8 years.
That'll work out.
They'll figure it out.
That's like the pet owner that just leaves both of their cats in the bedroom and locks them in there until they work their differences out.
Come back and both are dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's an eye on the floor. There's blood everywhere. Your drapes are ruined. Good job.
They're just gonna go get another cat and throw him in the room and be like, I think this time it's gonna work.
Yeah, this one will definitely acclimate. I believe in it.
Yeah. Jay, how you feel about this?
Honestly, hearing everything that you just said has kind of made me buy in a bit.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I don't think that highly of Evander Kane.
Sure.
And like you said before, like, my biggest problem is like that 12 million cap space is now 7.
Facts.
So
Factual.
and Evander Kane's not saving the day. So
No.
You know what though?
I don't know.
I think he might just a little bit though, because he's got like an infectious swagger. And if there's one thing I've noticed about Pettersson that's been desperately missing for the last few years,
It's that swagger.
it's a swagger.
Mm.
Maybe if you put him next to someone who just oozes swagger,
Confidence.
he'll pick it up. He'll find some of that and develop some dogs, some battles, some pushback. He's a big dude. Like,
I don't hate that.
if
Yeah.
he put on some size, he could definitely be that type of a player where
Yeah, oh
he
yeah.
stands up for himself too.
Oh yeah.
He's just getting chucked around right now, and he's sulking about it and
Well,
getting mopped.
he's a step behind is all it's been, right? Like, because he's got that Quinn Hughes thing, right? Where like Hughes gets hit like twice a year, and he's tiny, but he's so slippery. And Pettersson, when he's on his game, is slippery like that too. He doesn't get hit, even though he's slight. But when he's off his game, it's bad news bears.
Yeah, he gets his bell frickin' rung.
Okay.
It'd be nice to at least see him, get
Yeah.
some of that pushback.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with that. Next up, one dysfunctional organization to another. The Buffalo Sabres trade JJ Paterka to the Utah Mammoth. In return, is it Marco Rossi? Is it multiple first-round picks? No, it's Kesselring and Josh Doan.
The crowd goes wild.
Look, I'm not gonna. I don't want to just be like the contrarian here. That's like Kesselring is actually good and Josh Doan's actually a dog. Like I don't really want to be just like the contrarian that's against everyone saying this is horrific because it is bad.
It is bad, but I don't want to disrespect Kesselring or Doan. I mean, Doan's going to be a great player. Kesselring is a very serviceable and good player right now.
Yeah, that's just it. Like I don't think this trade is actually as bad as people are making it out to be.
But it is bad.
But it is bad. Yeah.
Especially when
But
teams are jumping
bad.
out of the woodwork
Yeah.
to reporters and insiders immediately as the deal breaks going,
Yeah.
we would have paid more.
Yeah.
We would have paid more, goddammit.
Way more.
Like, that screams bad management.
Yeah, of course.
How?
Buffalo.
How do you? Like, that's crazy. That is so crazy. Like, you had teams literally just jumping out the face being like, we would have done that and firsts. Plural.
Like honestly, I'm my fandom is full of pain, and every day I just wake up blessed I'm not a Buffalo Sabres fan.
Honestly, and like that just baffles me that like you like I understand your need for having like players and bodies that are going to enter the lineup sooner than later, and it's impossible to get people to sign in Buffalo as it is in Vancouver. I can imagine that being an issue.
Worse.
But you're Buffalo.
Yeah.
All you've ever done good is draft. Trade for picks.
Yeah.
That's all you've historically done well.
I know it's just bad times. Like I just look at Buffalo and I'm like, what are you doing? Like on a big picture level, like where is this team going? What are any of your players gonna do? What are like even if you get picks, like this organization is just the farm team for the rest of the league.
Yeah, that's what it's turned into at this point. What was it, like 12 or 8 players? 8, 12? It was like half of the team from 2021 had won a cup
Had
now.
like rings. Did I send that picture?
Yeah,
That
it
screenshot?
was.
Can we pull that up, Jay? Was that in our text?
I also posted it to our story, actually.
Yeah. That 2021 team had Jeff Skinner, Jack Eichel, Sam Reinhart, Dylan Cousins, Tage Thompson, JJ Paterka, Taylor Hall, Casey Middlestat, Jack Quinn, Olofsson. I always forget how to pronounce that name. Gergensons, Okposo, Darlene Montour, Power McCabe, Samuelson, Ristolainen, with Olmark and Ukko and net. And they were awful.
Yeah.
What a world. What a world.
That's crazy work.
So, like, on one hand, I think to myself, so they must just have horrific, management and coaching and culture and all of these things. But on the other hand, then I watch them make a trade like this, like JJ Paterka away for 2 like lesser players. And it's like, okay, if you know that this is what's happened to your team in 2018 and 2021, those rosters turned into so many cup winners and all that, maybe stop trading away talent.
Or at least trade it for more. Why are you selling so low? What are you doing? Like, yeah, the asset looks terrible because it's on your team.
They're lost. Lost.
I just find it so frustrating.
Yeah.
Like, the only trades I'm ever furious about as a non-fan of that team are the ones where it's so blatantly clear everyone else is willing to pay so much more.
Yeah.
And it's just like, what, did you not even bother to pick up the phone? There was like 31 other numbers you could have called. Like,
I'll never forget Jake Wallman in a second.
exactly. Like, Jackson even today said that'll always sting a little bit.
Yeah, it should.
Yeah. Yeah,
bet it will.
absolutely it should.
Okay. One more big trade. Noah Dobson traded to the Montreal Canadiens.
And I love it. I absolutely love this move.
Huge price on that. Price tag on that. 2 firsts, 16th and 17th overall, along with Emil Heineman.
Hey, you know what? You tell me that I'm getting a defenseman like Noah Dobson on an 8x8.
8x9.5.
Oh, is that what it turned into?
Yeah.
Still.
Yeah.
That's fine.
That's
so fine. I'm good with that.
This one, I worked a long one today, long shift at the bar today, and this was a big talking point. People wanted to talk about this trade, and the thing is that this one just to me makes so much sense for Montreal.
Yeah.
A team that has such a surplus of draft capital
Mhm.
and so needs a defenseman like Noah Dobson.
Mm-hmm.
Perfection.
I love it.
Yeah.
They needed a high skill, high capacity defenseman that could serve on the power play immediately. That's not
Yep.
named Lane frickin' Hudson.
Yeah, 100%.
Like,
100%.
They need someone he can lean on. He's not
Totally.
supposed to be your frickin' cornerstone right now.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be a really shiny jewel that you're just like, look at what we have. Isn't he going to be great one day?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, I absolutely love this move. This is like the equivalent of when the Devils brought in Dougie Hamilton. Like, you need
Yeah.
guys like this when you have a young core that is going to start performing at a high rate very soon.
I agree. And for the Islanders, it turns into a great day at the draft table for them too. So like this is a huge win for them as well.
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. Big time.
Yeah.
And, I mean, we already gushed over the picks that they
We
made.
did, yeah.
They picked up a couple. Who was it when he fell? Eklund?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they pick up
Who
Eklund falling.
Really fell. Yeah.
And
that
then
Aitchison fell.
Aitchison as well. Like, and those players are just going to be so solid and well serving for them in the long run, and it's
And-
so New York identity.
And that's on top of getting Schaefer first overall. I mean, like one of the rare absolute WWs on both sides.
Yeah, you very rarely see it. Montreal got everything they needed, and they dished out a bunch of stuff they weren't gonna probably be able to use anyways.
Yeah.
Not in the near future. It just
And
checks out.
the only thing that scares me a little bit from Montreal is I am worried just a touch. It's just creeping in my mind a little bit that they may be jumping the gun a little bit. It's the only thing. It's just sitting in the back of my mind a little bit. I do wonder. I always worry about these teams that are really on this good kind of pace of picking things back up and all of this. And it's like, well, did you really get enough years of adding a ton of first round picks? You know what I mean? Did you were they really? Because even this year, you go to the playoffs and it's like, well, now that pick's not that high. Are you sure you're ready?
But
They
I mean,
seem to think they are.
they went to the playoffs, so the pick's not that high. It's a weaker draft. I could see them just being like, hey, you know what? Like, this is a surefire thing. Every scout in the room is saying, get this guy. The head coach is screaming, get this guy. Let's just get this guy. Because, like,
Yep.
What else are we going to do right now with it?
Like I said, I think it's a win for them. But in the back of my mind, like if we get, 5 years down the road and they haven't become good enough to get over the hump, and Aitchison and Eklund are bumping in New York, I will be looking back at this. That's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, absolutely. But you know what? I think that, again, this is one of those things where, like, we talked about it with the Panthers last year, and the year before. You just have to take those stabs. And
Yeah,
sometimes
yeah.
the stabs are overpays.
Yep.
Let's not forget that they sent out, what was it, Uyghur, Huberdeau, a first.
It was just Uyghur and Huberdeau.
Was it? I thought they included some picks in it, too.
I don't believe so. Jay, do you know that?
My memory tells me that it was like a second round pick then as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so, like, that's huge.
Yeah, it was massive.
Yeah. Like, sometimes you got to do that, but it pays out in the end.
Yeah.
And I mean, Noah Dobson's a hell of a defenseman.
Oh, it was a first.
Bomb.
yeah.
So,
Crazy.
yeah, like sometimes you just got to overpay for the guys that you're certain on.
Yeah, 100%.
And I always complain about teams, humming and hawing and, they knew that was their guy, but they just couldn't commit to it because
Yeah.
they were unsure of themselves. And it's
Yeah.
like, there's no room for that. It's the NHL.
Yeah, I completely agree. The other thing I want to add on to this, because 9.5 over 8 years, right? Again, I know I'm making everything about the Vancouver Canucks, but good grief, the Vancouver Canucks have Quinn Hughes at $8 million and will not figure out how to win with them. How did we get here?
I have no idea, because what a deal.
In a world where Noah Dobson and Jacob Chikrin are making 9+ each.
Inflation, baby.
Speaking of crazy deals, Trent Frederick, who I actually didn't even include on this list, gets 8 years.
That blew me away. At 3.5.
8 years at 3 point. I think it was 3.8.
Was it?
Whatever. Not that it matters too much. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that much at all, actually. But that guy sucked in the finals.
Yeah, he didn't look good.
Actually, most of the playoffs, I don't think I watched Trent Frederick make a play.
No, I watched him make less plays than Connor Brown, and when Connor Brown said he was going to free agency, I went, huh?
Yeah.
He's going to go to free agency to get his value, huh?
Yeah.
Sure you will.
I mean, big body, sure. Uses it, sure. But I mean this. I don't think I watched Trent Frederick make a play.
No.
8 years. And the reason I brought him up here, and wasn't in the notes, but I brought him up anyways, because for $500,000 more, the Toronto Maple Leafs get John Tavares done.
Yeah, it's... Ugh. I don't understand why they did it or what they see in him unless they're like, this is going to be our captain for the rest of, like... We're going to strip McDavid. We're gonna have to trade McDavid. This guy's going to be our captain. Absolutely. This is a great play. Like...
Look, I love a team that takes, the long-term bets on players.
Yeah.
But like Trent Frederick's just not a high upside player.
No, exactly. And that's like, I'm not even mad about the money. I'm just really upset about the 8 years. Like if you told me it was like two years at 3.5, I would have been like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Bridge him, see what happens. He's either making 2 for the rest of his life or he might make 4.
Yeah.
But like 8? 8 years?
Unbelievable.
That's crazy. That's really crazy.
John Tavares, though, 4 years, 4.38. That's clean work.
That is clean work. And a lot of it's deferred, I've heard.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is also tied into bonuses. Which is some really, really smart bookkeeping from the Leafs.
Yep.
So, shout out.
I learned more about this yesterday, actually. I can't remember. I really wish I would have saved it. 'Cause they were talking about Jonathan Taves' contract.
Yes.
And how if they're under the cap and he hits his bonuses and they're still under the cap, there's no problem.
Mm-hmm.
But if they are at the cap and he hits his bonuses, it's actually still fine. That cap does, though, roll onto next year's cap.
Yeah. So it's just deferred into the next year, which is great because, if you're planning for only one more run or you're really nearing the end of your tick, then you may as well.
Perfect.
And it also just like if you think the guy's only going to be around for 1 or 2 more years or whatever it is, that's also fantastic because then you're basically getting free use and then just getting 50% off for the long term.
So, for the record, I never want to hear a Leafs fan talk about state tax again when we just saw the biggest hometown discount I've seen in years. Like, there's no... How many points did John Tavares have this year? 75 points.
Oh, my God.
And he got $4.38 million.
Damn.
There is no world on the free market where John Tavares gets under 6.
I mean, look, we're talking about Brad Marchand making 8, and he's 37.
There's no world.
No.
Look, I mean, you want to talk about guys taking discounts? There it is.
Yeah.
Now relax.
I mean, like, we could even jump, like, a little bit further down the list and hop 2 down and go to Jamie Benn from this, because that's another whopper hometown discount.
Ooh, baby, 1 by 1?
That's insane.
Oh,
and I mean, like, it has the potential to make it to, like, 3.5 with bonuses.
With bonuses, yeah.
It's like $500K for 20 games played.
He
40,
will hit
60.
a few of them. He will hit a few of those bonuses for sure.
Yeah, like, he's going to be making probably 2.5, but then like the other ones are like win Eastern Conference Finals, win Stanley Cup. So there's a good chance that $1 million might be left on the table, but hey, he's doing it to win.
Sure.
So
for sure, I respect it.
Yeah,
it's great on both sides.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And then more deals.
Dallas, you might win with Jamie Benn as your captain. I might take it back because like that might have been the smartest thing I've ever seen Jamie Benn do.
Yeah. Facts.
Just saying.
Facts. And then Sam Bennett
came into the office and cross-checked the GM in the face.
Oh, yeah.
1 by 1, put it all in bonuses.
Yeah.
Speaking of cross-check to the face, Sam Bennett.
Wear a visor, dude. Yeah, Sam Bennett. One of the last players to not wear a visor, Jamie Benn. Which, did you see in the new CBA, they will be requiring neck guards?
Good.
2026-27 season, neck guards will be required, and they will be it'll be grandfathered like the visors. So if you played before it came in, you won't need one. But
Yeah, no, it's just something we should be implementing.
of course,
We have the ability to develop cut-resistant technology. Like cut-resistant socks have saved so many players already.
Yeah.
They've sworn by them.
Yeah.
Like, it's just something we need to be doing.
it just makes so much sense.
Absolutely. If you have the ability to prevent an injury, there's no reason why you shouldn't.
Of course.
It's like when they smoothed out all of the boards from the player
Yeah,
box to
yeah.
the because Pacioretty got driven through the stanchion by Chara and broke
Did
his
he
neck.
ever?
That was scary.
I'll never forget that.
I
Yeah.
thought I watched him die. Like
Yeah.
I have a real deal.
Yeah.
Thought I watched a man die that day.
Yep.
And I watched that luge accident in 2010.
A man did actually die that day.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Away from death, Sam Bennett, 8x8.
Basically, death himself on ice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one, like, it is a discount. He definitely could have gotten more in free agency, 100%. However, this one feels more like just what he's worth.
Yeah, it feels like you could have gotten more on free agency, but probably not that much more.
Yeah.
And you would have to move and relocate and get comfortable with a new team and lose all your friends and the climate and the cars and the
Everything.
yeah. Like we heard from Huberto how bad it sucked to go from Florida to Calgary.
I bet.
Bro had a supercar collection. He had to sell all of them. Now
Yeah.
he just drives like a RAV4 or something. It's like that would make me depressed.
No way Jonathan Huberto drives a RAV4, but he
putting
probably
up-
does.
I'm putting up 30 points. That's it.
F-150.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like that's it.
Yeah.
You
No,
ruined my life.
This one, it makes a lot of sense. We knew he was going to take a little bit less to be there. We knew he wanted to be there.
We know it's a
it's-
state tax-free state.
Indeed, it's still a massive contract for a guy who's only hit 50 points once, I think.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be something that we just see more and more is teams taking bigger shots at guys like this. And
Yeah.
I think they also just kind of owe him like a little bit of like good faith as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree with that.
When a player performs for your team like this and becomes a staple for like everyone involved,
Yeah.
you have to treat him right. You kind of got to make sure he's taken care of for the rest of his career.
Now, it does look like Ekblad and Marchand are getting closer to testing the market.
I really didn't believe Marchand when he was hammered and threw his hands up and went 4 more years.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
I really do think it kind of comes down to the fact that Marchand played in Boston his entire life and played in this kind of fugazi cap structure environment where everyone took discounts over and over and over again. And now he has one last shot to make some money.
Yeah, and I don't blame him for taking it. If you're
Neither do
like,
I.
and if you're on a team where, a guy who's 10 years younger than you just took a discount for 8.
Yeah.
What does that lower your number to?
Exactly.
I'm not staying.
Yeah.
I've won a cup. I've won 2 cups.
Yeah.
I'm good. I got one for each one for each hand. We're
Yeah,
set. Like,
yeah, that's right.
like I don't need to be Jordan. If I can be Jordan, that's cool. But
Sure.
like, I'm good with just 2.
Yeah, I think it's I won't be surprised if he does resign. I won't at all. But I also won't be shocked at all if he moves on and gets himself one contract in his career that's a bag chasing contract.
Yeah, I heard the Devils are in on him. Among multiple other teams, but I hate that.
I don't mind it at all.
We just have enough like aged talent. Every time New Jersey brings in someone and is like, yeah, that's like someone that's gonna change things for us. They're a high skill, experienced player. They just don't. I
know,
think
but
Markstrom's the first time it's actually worked.
But I think that Brad Marchand is incapable of not being the rat.
That's true. That is true.
And that's worth a lot.
Yeah, the Devils do so desperately need a rat. Like that is worth $8 million in itself.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's about it for signings and trades. We did have our Hall of Fame inductees this week, though.
Yeah. Kind of makes you feel old now.
I
'cause
know,
I
huh?
remember when the Hall of Fame, you were like, who?
Yeah, yeah.
And you looked at the gear they were wearing and you're like, yeah, like
Yeah, like-
Jofa helmet?
Yeah, that
is
kind of.
that?
Oh, he was that kind of guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And now it's like Joe Thornton, Duncan Keith, Zdeno Chara. It's like, y'all.
What?
Wait, you mean they're retired?
Yeah, like, what do you mean?
But I mean, 3 legends, 3 people that absolutely had deserved to be in the Hall of Fame, and then 4th, the guy who really deserved to be in the Hall of Fame, historical snub, Alexander McGillney. Very, 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 very happy to see he finally got his well-deserved place in the Hall of Fame for being one of the first Russian players to really take the risk, flee Russia, come to North America and play.
Absolutely. Absolutely. He sacrificed a lot to do that.
Yep.
If you're looking for a good read, then you should definitely look into Alexander McGillney
Yes.
because that is an inspirational story, to say the least. Like,
Honestly, like I know he was a Canuck, so I if he didn't play for your team, he played for a couple other teams as well. But if he didn't play for your team, you might not know too much about it, especially if you're a newer fan or anything like that. But like for real, the Hockey Hall of Fame was Mickey Mouse to me until this came out.
it's valid, and it felt so politicized. Like, it just felt gross.
Yeah, for
that he wasn't
years.
in there. It's like, okay, like the Cold War was like 50 years ago, guys. Can we let this go?
Exactly.
Like,
For years.
also he defected. He came over here. He's on
Yeah.
your side.
Yeah.
Why are you being such a dick?
Genuinely.
Like,
I
there's
thought
no need.
I thought it was so ridiculous, and it put such a damper on the entire thing for me that it was just such a joke that he wasn't a part of it. So I'm very happy. Better late than never. I'm very happy to see him deservedly into the Hall of Fame.
Absolutely, especially when you think about how many people are on that voting board that were probably GMing a team that were loaded with Russians
Yeah.
that led them to a cup, and it's like, yeah, who was the benchmark? Who was
Yeah.
the trailblazer?
Who
was
started this?
The, yeah, who was the blueprint? Oh
Yeah.
wait, yeah.
Gilney.
Give this man flowers.
Did y'all see Lanny McDonald call Joe Thornton?
Yes, I
Yeah,
did.
yeah.
Yes,
The most Canadian conversation ever. Holy doodle, boys. Holy doodle, boys. That just killed me. Joe Thornton's such a beauty. Yeah, great to see.
yeah. That was really nice. It was just such a heartwarming call. Legend to legend. Like,
Yeah.
I loved how he just like thought he was calling to like talk.
Yeah.
He's just shooting it.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up? Like, yeah.
I like that Lanny just like, he's just like old now, you know? He just like wouldn't let up on the fact that Joe didn't answer his phone.
What are you doing?
I tried to call you like 3 times, you know? He just wouldn't let up on it, and I loved that.
The producer told me to do it one more time, and thank God you answered. Oh, Lanny. God bless your soul.
No, yeah, 100%. So shout out to our inductees this year. Great to see. Do you want to touch on the Calder Cup at all, or should we skip past that for this week? Obviously, the Abbotsford Canucks get it done.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, good for them. I
Yeah.
don't have much to say on it anyway, so
No.
let's just touch on it. Like, good for them.
Yeah.
First cup in Canucks history.
Factual.
Sorry, but
I mean,
Fun.
first championship on the Lower Mainland. First championship in BC in like 100 years since the Victoria Cougars.
Woof. I didn't even think about that. That's a bar. You're so right. Good Lord.
Oh, baby.
My Jesus.
Yeah. Really, though, my only thing about it is, what would you do about Shilovs? Do you
Keep him.
keep them?
Keep him.
Who do you
Because,
trade?
Demko. Easy.
Think so.
I mean, look, like, you've been to the playoffs with him multiple times. He's shown up a little bit, but not enough. Not enough for what I want from a starting goalie
Okay.
who's going to win me a cup. And the further that we go into this era of hockey, the more I believe that it is just so important to get people that know how to win.
Mhm.
Like, if they've won at a different level, it makes me a lot more comfortable that they're going to be able to win at this level
Sure.
and be a part of a championship team and understand how to bring that to whatever environment they're needed in whatever capacity.
Understandable.
Because real winners figure that out.
Yeah.
You can be a high scoring guy and look around the room and go, I need to throw hits today.
Sure.
And do that.
Sure.
And much like goalies, I just think the goalies that are battle tested, hardened, have won, have a solid track record through and through. This guy's risen through the flames.
Yeah.
Multiple times.
Yeah. He's proven himself to be a phenomenal goalie in bursts, right? in these tournament style events, whether it's Latvia bronze medal for the World Championships, whether that's the playoffs last year for the Canucks, whether that's the playoffs this year for the Abbotsford Canucks, he's proven to be that guy in those clutch moments.
Yeah, absolutely. I
See,
mean,
yeah.
I just the only reason I say Demko is because I think that's the guy that yeah, regardless of injury, you're going to get the best value for.
Do you think so?
I do. When we're talking
Yeah.
about like trades that involve like John Gibson,
Yeah.
still,
Yeah.
and they're lucrative.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, every team in the league is dying for a goalie that they can posture as their number one.
So, first of all, I completely agree with you, and I think at the end of the day, you're correct. I have something I can't shake here. There's something about this that I just cannot get away from. Every single time I really get into this thought process, and it's the home run swing thing,
Okay.
right? We talk about teams in the middle, in the mushy middle, that need to take those home run bets. And at the end of the day, like, I just don't think there's a better one in net than Thatcher Demko. And if the Canucks need to make that swing, you kind of have that guy, right? Like Shilovs was really good in these playoffs, but horrific at the NHL level. Lankinen is just mid, which I don't even mind. I think that's fine. But, like, Demko on his game is a Vezina nominee.
He was, but he's injured. And he's been injured, and he's probably going to stay injured. Because these injuries don't seem to be letting up.
I mean, he finished the season healthy.
For how long, you know? Like, until he has...
I get it, but like that, those are the kind of players I'm looking for the Canucks to acquire. That's who That's who I want the Canucks to acquire. The guy with the injury issues, but when he's on his game is absolutely elite. That's the home run swing a team like the Canucks need to make. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but then you don't want to be the Pacers and, you know, like what?
Lose Halley in Game 7. I get that.
Yeah, that's such an issue. I mean, we saw it with the Oilers with Zach Hyman, and he doesn't even have injury issues.
See, but like the Canucks aren't the Oilers. They're nowhere close, and they're not the Pacers. They're nowhere close. If they're going to get anywhere close, they need a home run bet to hit.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think that like the home run bet, especially when you're looking at how tight the cap is and what you need in order to be good, take the value where you can get it. Even if you're doing a 1-2 combo between Silvos and Lankinen for a year, while you iron it out, maybe one of them blossoms. Like, just give them a chance to duke it out. Sometimes competition's healthy.
Yeah,
And
I think you're right. I do think you're right.
And I just think it's really hard for those guys to truly grow into anything when they know that there's just like the biggest Gary Oak blocking their path in Demko. Because as long as he's there, he's going to be the starter. It doesn't matter how good you play.
Because he should be. Let's be very clear.
Yeah.
Thatcher Demko is miles better than both of those goaltenders.
Absolutely. But also, if you're the Canucks and you've seen how much talent is walking out the door or is potentially walking out of the door, I'm looking to free up some cap space to at least retain some of it or bring something back of equal value.
That's fair.
Like, I just think that they have way too many assets that are solid in goaltending, and they need to diversify something, and that's just the most easy and like bulk liquid exchange you can make.
It is. All right, I agree with that. I think that's about it. I got one last just little note here. I just wanted to say, for the first time in the history of North American pro sports, the reigning NBA, NHL, and MLB MVPs of the finals / playoffs are all Canadian.
Wow. That's impressive.
Along with 12 of the top 15 picks in this draft are all Canadian.
Canada. It's still our game. It's always second. Always second. Link in bio. Make sure to buy your shirts.
Make sure you cop that.
They're beautiful.
They are indeed.
Gorgeous.
The
Made
best
locally.
shirts.
The best shirts.
No tariffs on these shirts.
Unless you're American.
Sorry.
Can't help you there.
All right. Well, this was a blast.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always a blast. I love coming in here to talk hockey and like
so nice.
Especially with some levity. Like, this is just such a good news week. It's just like explosive trades, some really fun draft stuff.
Yeah.
Like, hell yeah.
One more episode.
One more, and then it's summer break.
Summer vacation.
Woo!
That'll be Jonesy's 80th episode. Crazy stuff.
Yeah, it's crazy. We were talking about it last week, and you said that you realized you've now been with the pod longer than you haven't been with the pod.
By a very wide margin at that.
Yeah. You're
Crazy.
becoming part of the furniture. Part of the
Honestly,
crew, part of the ship.
That chair used to be my chair. It might be the Pope chair now.
The Pope Mobile.
Pope Mobile, that's right.
You're rolling around.
It do have wheels.
Rolling around, knocking the cameras over.
Yeah.
Glass down, JFK style.
Yeah. So shout out to you, Pope. Cubs are better. And
Facts.
Yeah, I appreciate that. That's our producer Jay. This is my co-host over here.
I'm yours truly.
And as always, I'm Tico Raspy. Keep your head up.
Keep your head up.
Boom.
Boom.
Stick talk. Stick talk. Stick talk. Stick